So you want to set up a play with Shaco, which is good because he has the boxes, right? And that's pretty OP with Shaco. And now when you see Udyr, if I remember correctly, I think you want to leave. Yeah, you don't want to stay here anymore, which is fine because you know they're not gonna come from the red, the enemies, right? Because Udyr is starting top. So that's all good. However, the only problem here is that you walk alone, right? You should ping Shaco to come with you or just stay with him. Going alone in the darkness, in the fog of war, is a bit dangerous. So that's the problem here. And then you fight. You get hooked and you fight. So this fight isn't even that bad, other than the fact you got hit first, and then it was a bit hard for you. But there are some other problems, right? Some things, some details. So one thing would be the starting item. I see you started longsword and 3 pots. However, against their lane, I think I would definitely go with Doran's Blade and 1 potion, right? But why is that? Well, that's because Jinx has a bit of poke with her rockets, but not that much, right? So you're not gonna get poked that much, and Nautilus obviously has no poke. But they're a pretty heavy fight lane. They wanna fight, and they are strong at fighting long duels. So if you know you're gonna fight and not get poked, Doran's Blade is just better. Because a longsword just doesn't give you the raw power. It doesn't give you enough raw power, right? So if you had Doran's Blade here, it would be a lot better. And in addition to that, you should pop your potion right now. Like when you first get hit and you know you're gonna fight, just pop a potion instantly to regenerate some HP. Because if you popped a potion at the start of this fight, at the end of it, like right now, you would already be like this HP, at least, right? And it may not seem like a lot, but sometimes it's the difference between dying and living. Also, here, right now, you healed. However, you should always heal before you get ignited. Because if you see you're ignited here, so your heal is reduced. So what I would do in this fight is start Doran Blade, pop a potion right now, and heal right now. Like, you know you're gonna fight to the death. This is just one of you is gonna die. So why not heal? You don't have to use the heal for bait. You can use it early, because you know he has ignite. And now you can't heal anymore. If you did all of these, then you would have lived, right? I'm like 99% sure. So yeah, that's the biggest thing there. And it's pretty big, you see how small details, because it's a lot of factors. Small details like that can add up. Here you come back to lane, and your idea is good. Here you should want to push. And now you should want to push this wave as well, like really hard. But I don't know if you realize why. Actually, it's because Udyr started topside, right? Okay, so most likely he's pathing to bot. And after he paths to bot side, then he will want his Scuttle Crab. Right before or right after Scuttle, he can gank bot. So that would be at around 3:30. That is when Scuttle spawns. So you're gonna get ganked at about 220 to maybe 350 or something. Around there, you know, thereabouts. So what you can do here, in order to dodge the gank basically, is hard push this wave, like really hard, and then go into bush and recall, press B. Now you're not gonna have a lot of gold, right? but you can still get tier 1 boots, and boots on Jhin are actually like really good. So if you do that, then Udyr doesn't gank you because you're in base, so he cannot gank you, right? You're in base, and when you come back, the lane will be pushing into you, and then you can play the lane on your side, so then you're even safer. So that's good, that's really good. So that's what you should do here, definitely. You should fast push this and then recall. Okay, you don't recall. Now you get hooked. It's a bit unfortunate. As a rule of thumb, I would say, you know, against hook champions, it's very dangerous to be in the open, right? It's very dangerous to be here. Here you have a box, or is that a box? Is that a word? I think, yeah, it's a box. You have a box that can protect you, so you can be here, you can be behind Shaco, or the best thing to do is just wait for minions and stay behind them, because that way Nautilus can never hook you, right? So here he hooks you and you fight. Now keep in mind that you are now vulnerable to ganks, starting now, right? Until like 4 minutes or something. So when you are vulnerable to ganks, what you want the wave to do is push into you. And obviously it's because you want to stay on your side of the lane. So what I would do now, since you didn't recall, I would just last hit. I would not try to push the wave like this, because if you just last hit, this wave is gonna slowly come into you, and then maybe you can play in a bit of a safer spot, so to say. But yeah, you just keep pushing, and here as well you hit the minions, and yeah, you shouldn't just because you want to play here. Again, I guess you understood that. Okay, now if I recall correctly, Udyr ganks you, or maybe not exactly right now. Okay, yeah, he ganked you, and well, you know, as I said early, like after you came back from base when you first died, this was obviously gonna happen. So what you can do now, from now on, is look where jungle started, and if he started topside, you know he's gonna be bot at 320 to 4 minutes. If he started bot, maybe you put a ward here in the early game to cover you for a level 2 gank, but then you're safe, like you're safe for a good while, right? And now he ganks, and you could have avoided this either by recalling at minute 3 when you could have crushed third wave, or you could have avoided this by letting Jinx push into you and just stay on your side of the lane. But those didn't happen, so now you died. Okay, so now that Udyr ganked you, he's definitely going to recall, or like apparently he's ganking mid, but anyway, after that he's probably gonna recall and go topside to clear his camps, and then start pathing bot again. However, that will take a while, so when junglers finish their clear, you know you are safe for like 2.5 minutes from then, right? So he ganked you at 4. Let's say you saw him still on the map, and it's like almost 5 now, minute 5. So you are safe until like 7:30, because you know he has to recall, and then clear, and then maybe gank bot, right? So it's gonna take him 2.5 minutes. That's the rule of thumb, so to say. Since you know they are in base as well, what you could have done here is hard push this wave to get a lane reset, and then you can be safe, right? Because now when they come back to lane, you might be zoned. Yeah, see, because you see Shaco is going mid, right? So when I see that, I have two choices. When you see Shaco going mid, you can either hard push to get the lane into their tower, and then when it resets, it bounces back into you and you can farm here safely, or you just last hit. Okay, for now you just last hit. Yep, but see, now you kinda push, but you don't hard push. So you either hard push or just last hit. You hitting minions and pushing without fully committing to the push is really bad, because now they can zone you. Your Shaco is mid, Nautilus came back, Jinx is also coming back probably soon, and they can just zone you from CS. Because other than your W, you cannot farm from a distance, right? You're not Ezreal, you're not Varus that has Q and E, so... But apparently they are pushing into you. That's good for you, right? Because then they give you the CS for free. So here you just stay in tower and wait. It's perfect. If they push into you, you get your wave anyway, and your Shaco roam mid. So it's really the best. Hopefully they don't dive you. Okay, Jarvan with an interesting gank. You kill Jinx. That's really good. And you decide to push. Yep. All good. Every time after you get a kill, you should try to push. And then either recall or... Yeah, you have 900 gold. You could recall. Now you see they do something on the map, right? That's good that you follow. So you see your team wants to fight and then you try to follow them. That's good. However, here I don't think you can do anything in the fight, but let's see. Yeah, so here, like, the fight is over. Either Akali kills him, Akali and Shaco kill him, or he gets away. But you coming here doesn't influence that, right? Like, not at all. You cannot get to this guy anymore. It's too late. So I would just recall here, press B. And then you come back to lane. Because you also have 1k gold, so recalling isn't bad. You know? Okay, you decide to walk into lane. It's not that bad. However, I think you could have gotten a recall. Oh no, walking through here is like really int. Your Shaco is mid, Akali is mid, Jarvan is dead, right? And of course, you see Udyr, but they don't need Udyr. Jinx and Nautilus just kill you. So I think this is like really risky, because what if Nautilus is here? What if he's here? Here, you can't see this, right? Now, I don't know if you die here, but it's really freaking risky. Okay, Nautilus is mid, so you got a bit lucky. Again, the fight is over. There's no way you help. So, okay, it's good that you're trying to help your team. Obviously, it's very good. However, here, like, when I see Akali this HP, and I mean Shaco can't really save her, I don't want to help. Because, okay, maybe you get here when she dies, or like not long after, but then what are you gonna do? Like, kill Udyr on your own? I don't think you have the damage. So here you just go bot lane. It's important to know when to help your team and when not to. So it is a bit tricky. However, if the fight is like a long distance and it is over, because here the fight is basically over. Akali is dead, you know. I don't see how she lives. So I would just go bot, because look how many minions you're missing, and the next wave is coming as well. So you're gonna miss that. So look, here you miss 5 minions, right? And then another 6. Right? So how many, like, you miss a lot of minions. You miss like almost 2 waves. And you die. But the fact that you die isn't that important, because okay, you had flash, maybe you could have went there and flashed over the wall and you wouldn't have died, maybe. But that's not the point. The point is, you shouldn't be here in the first place. And we know that because the fight you tried to reach was over before you could reach it. So it's not a good fight for you. It's Shaco's plus Akali's fight. Yeah, it's their fight. It's not your fight, because you cannot reach it in time. So just go bot and get your farm. Okay, here your team kinda inted a bit and died. That's fine. You see Jinx and Nautilus mid, and you couldn't reach that fight, right? So you decide to take plates. That's great. So you take plates, and now what I want you to do is recall. Because realize that Udyr and Sylas could be coming. They're not mid, right? You don't see them. And you got your plates, and you got some waves, and now you just want to back. Because let's check. How much gold do you have? Oh my god, yeah, you have a lot of gold as well. So you just want to back. Okay, staying one more wave is pretty greedy. However, you should still back, right? Okay, you choose not to back. The problem with this is that now Jinx and Nautilus will be coming back into lane, and you will have to lane with a non-quiver against the Jinx with a Kraken. So I don't know how you're gonna lane this, right? Okay, Jarvan is here, so you feel pretty safe, and okay, good, he's here to help you. But I want you to imagine that he isn't here. What if Jarvan isn't here, right? You have to lane 1v2 with no items. I mean, they can just dive you and kill you, right? I feel. So next time, like, just consider that if you have a lot of gold, okay, when is a good opportunity to recall? You know, they fought mid and you pushed the wave in, which is very good to do before you recall. So that was a perfect timing to press B. Because if you stay, you're just being greedy and you don't gain anything either. Okay, Jarvan ganks. Oh no, you get hooked. Yeah. Well, this is a bit unlucky, but I think here, when Jarvan clearly doesn't want to fight anymore because he doesn't have any abilities up, you just back off, right? Because there's no way you chase them and kill them 1v2. I mean, you just can't. But see, this wouldn't have happened if you recalled earlier, and now you would have more items. So maybe actually you win the fight if Jarvan comes. He kills them, that's good. But you still died and you still lost minions, and it's not great for you. Even if it's okay for the game, you're the only consistent factor in our games. So you should focus on yourself, obviously. Here you come to help Drake. That's good. Bot wave is fine. You're not missing much, right? For example, if you had like a huge wave here that was killing their wave, then you would lose minions, right? Because their minions would quickly die to your wave. So then maybe you're thinking, okay, do I want to catch the bot wave or do I want to help? And I think you help anyway, but it's just something to consider. Okay, you guys want to fight. From what I've noticed, by the way, you play fights pretty well. I think you do. Like you know how to stay back and just deal damage when you can, and I don't think fighting is a problem for you. I think so far, recognizing when to move and when not to move, and when to recall and when not to recall have been the biggest problems, right? Okay, you dive Jinx, perfect. Here you should recall or just push the wave and recall. Either one of those is fine. Jarvan helps you push, that's great. Now you finally recall and you get some items. Great. Oh yeah, I remember this. So this is actually it's a bit of a higher level concept. Well, not really, maybe, but still. It's gonna be a bit harder for you to pay attention to this, but see here how Akali is recalling, right? And Udyr is pushing a huge wave in mid. And there's nothing for you to do on bot, right? Because if you come bot, I mean the wave is just in the middle. You're not losing minions to the tower. So here, if I was you, I would just go mid and catch the wave. Because imagine you go here and get this huge wave, and then you go bot, and then you get the wave on bot as well. I mean, that would be pretty freaking good, right? Now, now you come mid, but the wave is already dead. So right now it's kinda useless that you're mid. See, you just wasted time. But of course, it's I understand that you're trying to help your team in fights, but this time you're a bit late. Because imagine you get an assist on Udyr there, and you also get the wave. Like, how big is that for you, right? Okay. Yeah. Here, in order to walk up to hit this wave, your teammates would have to be closer. You see how your teammates are top side and bot side? Yeah, and you're alone in mid and you don't see anyone. Of course, these guys are dead, but what if they jump on you? What if Udyr comes from here, from behind? So yeah, this is a bit int, because like, imagine here. Hold on. Imagine here, Sylas just comes to you and then flash E's onto you and ignites. Like, you're just dead, right? AD carries actually do this a lot, even in competitive. Like, if you look at LCK, a lot of AD carries just die because they come mid to push the wave. But sometimes you cannot, because it's too greedy, right? As an AD carry, especially Jhin, you can't really be alone because you just die. And look, they push the wave, so you just wait for the wave to come into you. And you get it anyway, right? You don't lose the wave. You just get it a bit later. Okay, here your team wants to fight. Okay, you can push the mid wave. Yeah, it's really risky to be here, man. All on your own, right? It's the same concept. Your team is on top side. Like, maybe you don't die here, but in other games you just die. Okay, you guys are fighting. Again, as I said, in most fights you play pretty well. That's not really an issue for you. And additionally, it's very hard to teach someone to teamfight. It's mostly practice, so you will get better at teamfighting just playing the game. So it's not really something that you can be helped as much. Of course, there are still some tips. But anyway, you guys win the fight, that's great. And you should probably recall. Good. Let's see what you buy. Oh. You're going collector, huh? So, collector actually is like a pretty shit item, honestly. Not gonna lie. It's pretty shit. Like, if you go into practice tool and hit the dummies, you're gonna notice that collector doesn't do like any damage. On Jhin, you should probably go like second item. Second, you should go Infinity Edge or Lord Dominic's if they are like really tanky, but I think usually Infinity is good. So now, I mean, your team is not doing that bad, but since you have Collector, you may not have too much damage in teamfights. So that's a bit unfortunate. It looks like you guys are gonna be fighting over the Drake, but Renekton is topside, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it's his mistake, of course, but I think here what you should do is just ping Renekton and then ping help. And don't spam him, because then of course he may mute you. But you should still ping like 1 or 2 times. Because here if you fight 4v5, it's like pretty bad. If Renekton was here, you guys can fight, you're not behind. Okay, Akali is dead, so since Akali is dead and Renekton is topside, this fight is over. Like, there's no way you guys win 3v5, right? You're not like giga ahead, so it's impossible to win 3v5. So what I want you to do here is just run. Try to get out of the fight. Okay, you're running. Wing is fine. Oh no. You really shouldn't go in. Because this Drake is not important. Like, look, you got 1 Drake, they are gonna get 1 Drake. It's not Soul or anything, right? It's just the second Drake. So it's not that important. So if you lose this Drake, the game doesn't change. So you can still easily win. But if you lose this Drake and the fight, right, then it's pretty over, because they get a lot of gold. And yeah, people are now pinging with Renekton, and yes, he should have helped. However, you cannot control your teammates in solo queue, right? And the best thing you could have done there is just realize that the fight was over when Akali died, and just retreat, because there's no point in Shaco, you and Jarvan dying after Akali died. So you just gave them 3 kills for nothing. Okay, here you guys took Baron earlier, and Nautilus is dead. So if Jarvan gets here as well, it's like free fight. So it's good that you wanna fight. Okay, very nice. You kill them. And now you should push. Oh, what happens here? Oh no. That's tragic. That's really tragic. It's such a silly mistake. But you know, against the Nautilus, why not stand behind your minions, you know? It's just a small detail, of course, but always against a guy that wants to hook you, you should stay behind minions, of course. I mean, I think you know that. It was probably just like a mistake in the moment. But the problem is that I think, yeah, dragon spawned and you are dead. So that's a bit unfortunate. Man, this Akali is going really deep, isn't she? But yeah, now imagine this fight if you're here like earlier. Because I think this is like a free fight, no? You guys are like really strong. So imagine if you didn't die in mid and you just get here earlier to be in the fight at the same time as your team. This is just like free fight. But since you got here late, they are kinda alive now. You kill Jinx, very nice. I would not go in here. Look where Jarvan is. I mean, I can't even see him right now on the screen. Yeah, he's here. You're basically 1v2 against a Veigar and a Nodier. There's no way you win this. Yep, Veigar just one-shots you or what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just greedy, right? There's no point in being there, I think. Here is another fight. Okay. This could be a good fight. Oh no. Okay. So it's similar to earlier, right? Remember the Drake? When Akali died at the second Drake and then the fight was over? Yeah. It's the same thing now. Akali was dead and then Shaco died. And you don't see Veigar and whoever else. I think you don't see Udyr or something. So it's basically like a 5v3 because Veigar and Udyr could be coming from anywhere. So now you're just trying like to run. Jarvan goes in, you ult, which is good because ulting is not committing to the fight. But like when Veigar comes, I think it's a bad fight. You get a kill, yeah, but you die. So it's the same concept as earlier, right? It's really the same as in the dragon, because you didn't realize Akali died here and Renekton was in top. So the fight was over, like you just had to run. Here it was the same thing. Shaco died, Akali was dead, so the fight was really over. So it's important as an AD carry. Just because your team dies doesn't mean you have to die. I'm not saying to play for KDA, that's like bad and a different thing, but sometimes you don't have to die, right? Yeah, but the thing is, like, these fights here, what is happening here doesn't matter. Because if from early game you didn't lose so many waves because you tried to help when you shouldn't, and you didn't recall when you should, then you would be stronger. And if you didn't go collector, you would be stronger, and maybe the game would have been won. But like now the game is just over. And of course you can learn from your mistakes, and obviously that's why you get this this review. But I don't see how you win. I mean, I'm just, yeah. They get Drake again and end the game, right? Yeah. Okay, so the biggest takeaways would be that you have to realize when the fight is over. So when a fight is over, you just run. There's no point in you dying as well. And 2, you have to realize when it is good to help your team. Help or not, right? Sometimes if you miss too many minions and the fight is far away, it's really not good to help, because you cannot get there anyway and you lose your minions. So these two are like the biggest things that I noticed, but of course I mentioned some other stuff as well. So if you work on like everything that I noticed and talk to you about, then you can definitely climb.